Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I am in Maputo, Mozambique. So this is like really very spontaneous because I came across this video while it was sent to me by my good friend. I won't mention the name because I forgot to ask permission to use her name. And this video just has me so riled up that I'm actually still in my bed. Look. Still in my pajamas. But I just need to get this out there. So, and also I'm doing it live because the chances of my video getting censored is less when you go live. Well, so I've been told. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of ums and so's, and because I'm not editing this, I will edit it later and then I will put it on YouTube. But I thought, let me get this out so that at least I have it somewhere. Because this video, this guy, okay, let me go bit by bit. What is happening here? Oh my goodness. Okay, so this video, this guy, his name is Jason Leong. He has 102,000 subscribers. So he's a Malaysian. He put out this video. And I actually responded in point form to everything he said. And he deleted it because I don't see my comment there at all. But he doesn't know, I have my own channel and I have like 17 subscribers, but that doesn't matter because that's not going to stop me from still voicing my opinion because really, since when did I ever not voice my opinion? Doesn't matter how outlandish it is or how stupid or ignorant my opinions are, I will always express them because, that's how I was raised. My father taught me that. Mr. Sebastian Bernard Tierneson taught me that. Rest in peace, Daddy. Okay, so this guy's name is Jason Leong. Like I said before, he has 102,000 subscribers, and just to this video he had 40,000 views. So actually, in a way, this made me feel positive because if you can sprout so much crap on YouTube and still get so many subscribers and people to watch your videos, then there's hope, right? Because at least it's not getting censored. Your crap is not getting censored, which doesn't make sense because people who actually talk sense, like all the scientists and the doctors and politicians who make sense, because these days only a few of them make sense, they get censored. But of course, I think most of us know why this happens, because there is a narrative that is out there, and if you do not subscribe to that narrative, that's it. You're going to get cancelled or censored or banned or whatever. Okay? Anyway, so he's talking about, he's supposed to be talking about Ivermectin does not mean no need to vaccinate. But of course, then he goes off on a rant. So what I'm going to do is, because you cannot see, I don't know, I don't even think you'll be able to hear, but I have to do it this way, where I listen to what he says and then I will comment.
The consensus that the evidence is not concrete.
Okay, so
now I'm not a scientist making a lot of fuss about ivermectin. Now I'm not a scientist, so I follow the advice of scientists.
Okay, disclaimer there. He does make a disclaimer. He's not a scientist, but he follows. So I'll give him that. Because I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I know nothing about. No, I know a lot about anatomy because that's what I studied. But anyway. So at least he's putting a disclaimer out there. So
currently the evidence for ivermectin is still out there. There are trials and research ongoing, but the consensus that the evidence is not concrete enough to start using ivermectin actively to cure COVID.
Okay, he said, I think you heard what he said, right? That, wait, let me get that again.
an incident really scientists. Currently, the evidence for ivermectin is still out there. There are trials and research ongoing. The consensus that the evidence is not concrete enough to start using ivermectin actively to
cure COVID. Okay, that's true. All the evidence is not in yet because COVID is a new disease. It's just under 2 years old. So using ivermectin as, okay, he said as a cure. Now this is not true, so he's wrong there. It is not being used as a cure. They're using it as a prophylaxis. For those who don't know what prophylaxis means, it means as a preventative drug treatment. So you take it before you get it. Like me, I'm taking it now. Okay, as a prophylaxis, and then also as early treatment. That's what they are using it now. They've been using it for the past year or so. So yes, all the evidence is not in yet because how clinical trials work, it sometimes takes 10 years, 20 years for the concrete evidence to come in. So he's right about that. But then he says it's been used as a cure. No, that is not true. It is being used as prophylaxis and as treatment. So, dude, Salah.
But an incident really triggered me and got me really upset. A friend of mine, he was mentioning to me that
he was supposed to go.
Who have suddenly
his friend was supposed to go to get vaccinated.
That he has stocked up on ivermectin in his house, and not only that, he had a vaccination appointment. And he decided to deliberately skip his vaccination appointment. Now that is...
Okay, in case you didn't hear that, his friend's colleague stocked up on ivermectin and then cancelled his vaccination appointment. I don't see anything wrong with that because, you know, you want a vaccination, you could take it. You don't want it, you don't. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
I just cannot abide by. That is something which I find totally selfish and irresponsible and ignorant. So look.
Okay, so his friend not wanting to get the vaccination is totally selfish and irresponsible and ignorant. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Let me see if I put the volume off and then I just use then I can read it. Oh yeah, because then I can just read. I put the CC on. Okay. He says he's selfish and irresponsible and ignorant. Right. Again, that's his opinion because not everybody thinks that a decision that you make about your health is selfish, ignorant, and irresponsible. I think he means selfish because there's this misconception that when you take the vaccine, you cannot spread it. Hello? Let me see what this video was released 2 weeks ago. But I mean, I knew this for quite some time already. Quite some time. But anyway, because we all know that the vaccine only reduces disease severity. Full stop. But I don't know, maybe in Malaysia people don't get this information because I also don't know how much censorship is going on there because I don't live there. I'm not there at the moment. So, okay, then he says, just because there may be a cure, all right. Wait. No, I cannot do it like this. Sorry, this is not going well. I'll have to put the sound up.
And he decided to deliberately skip his vaccination appointment.
Okay, this is still
now that is something I just cannot. And irresponsible.
Okay, irresponsible, ignorant.
So, look, here are 4 things I want to talk about.
Okay, let's talk about 4 things.
Ivermectin, okay?
On ivermectin.
Just because there may be a cure. Okay, let's put it this way. Let's imagine that there is a cure for COVID, okay? That ivermectin is safe and efficacious. You can cure COVID with ivermectin.
Right. Ivermectin is safe and effective. Okay, that's different from it can cure COVID. That is very different. So he's not right there about that.
would still rather be vaccinated than not vaccinated, get COVID, and then use the treatment. You are ignoring a very basic tenet of medicine, which is prevention is better than cure. Why would you?
Okay. So what he doesn't understand, he is saying here that why would you not take the vaccination and rather take ivermectin? Because, and then he goes like this, because, he says, because prevention is better than cure. Dude, prophylaxis means prevention. And ivermectin is used as a prophylaxis, as a prevention. So again, I don't know how much research this guy has done, even just research in language. But he is so off the rails when it comes to this. Okay? But this was 2 weeks ago. Maybe by now he is, that's why he deleted my comment.
Rather gamble and get COVID and then cure it when you can prevent it from happening in the first place. Would you rather your children probably get polio and then be cured polio than your children not getting polio in the first place?
Okay, that whole polio rant also is just off the rails. Because again, ivermectin can be used as a prophylaxis, which is exactly what he's talking about, which is prevention. It is not a cure. It is used as treatment in early COVID. It's used as treatment. There is no mention of cure.
It's because we can cure gonorrhea doesn't mean you should fuck without a condom.
Yeah, a little bit harsh
Secondly,
words there, but
now is
true.
really not the time to again gamble and get COVID and then perhaps get cured. Because in Malaysia right now, we're in the midst of a pandemic. Today we have 13,000 cases. But the main problem is our...
Yeah, and I think the reason you have so many cases in Malaysia is because if people have the same mindset as this dude, then I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm sure a lot of people in Malaysia are like him. They don't understand vaccinations. They don't understand preventative treatment. They don't understand treatment. They don't understand cure. They don't understand self-care.
Hospitals are overwhelmed. Our healthcare resources are overwhelmed.
Yeah, well,
I am privileged to know of
with this kind of mindset,
very
of course, the
brave
hospitals
men
are
and
gonna be
medical
overwhelmed.
service in Malaysia, in the public service, and every day they WhatsApp each other stories of how they have to let patients go, how patients are being brought dead.
Yes, but what he's not mentioning is in Malaysia, there are doctors and nurses who have been vaccinated that are dying. And some of us know them, right? Because we are friends, so we know who these doctors are, right? Okay, so.
How some of them don't even have time to sleep and eat. How the patients have to share the oxygen tanks, the oxygen cannulas. How they don't even have enough beds. And you have seen the videos of overcrowded.
Yeah, Malaysia, there's not enough beds in the hospital. And I always thought Malaysia was quite a rich country because I'm in Africa. They're not having this problem. Nope. I just went to the hospital 2 days ago to do a PCR test. Things look very normal, very casual, just another day in the hospital.
Hostels in Malaysia. Beds are being put out in the emergency. Beds are put outside the emergency department in the car parks. The long lines of queues at the COVID assessment centers. Now is not the time to be selfish and then maybe get COVID, and maybe you might be hospitalized due to COVID, and you're going to take up a bed space that you wouldn't have needed to take if you got vaccinated in the first place. You are taking up healthcare resources based on your own selfishness and irresponsible behavior.
Okay, so this is only halfway, but I'm going to stop it here because even when I answered him, and I can't remember because normally my brain it will just be on a roll. It's not on a roll now. Anyway, number one, ivermectin, like I said before, is being used in many countries. And Italy, just yesterday or day before yesterday, their COVID protocols it was released. But I think it was released long time ago, but it was because Big Pharma and Big Tech are censoring content that is put out on social media. So I think this was already out a long time ago. A lot of doctors know about it, and I know that my doctor in South Africa, he knows about it, because when I told him yesterday about it, he said, yeah, I know, but I cannot, because they're not allowed to talk about it, right? Even the FLCCC Protocols, I got it a long time ago, and I got it from him, okay? Because our doctors care about us, so, sometimes they'll do things that they have to do because they want you to stay alive. Anyway, where was I now? Right, so what happened is that, okay, so Ivermectin, it's been used in many countries. Italy, India, a lot of, mostly South America, Africa, some parts of Asia. I don't know about other countries because they've not released their things yet, but Italy, that has had that crazy COVID experience that we all know about, they've been using it since day one. And interestingly, they also use why can I not say this now? Hydroxychloroquine. Okay? And I know in Africa, they also use hydroxychloroquine, because I know I was in Tanzania, even we were using it. Maybe that's why we didn't get sick, since there was no lockdown there. But anyway, but also because we needed to take hydroxychloroquine because it's a malaria-stricken area. People die more there from malaria than any other disease, so we had to take it. Anyway, so what has happened is, an ivermectin is a drug that has been in circulation and approved and has data for 40 years. It has 40 years of data. It has a safety record of 40 years. So let's just first get that fact in, okay?
Now, thirdly, let's assume you get COVID. And yes, a lot of people get COVID, have no symptoms, and recover on their own. That's great. But there is a possibility of you contracting COVID and then having the long-term consequences of COVID. We call it long COVID.
Mm-hmm. Long haul COVID.
COVID can scar your lungs. Give you one example.
Mm-hmm.
COVID can scar your lungs. And this scarring is permanent. Your lungs may not go back to the pre-COVID condition. For the rest of your life, you'll be easily fatigued, easily lethargic, and this will be a burden on yourself and on your loved ones. You can prevent all this by getting vaccinated.
Okay, that is very true about long haul COVID. But also, you can get all these things from the vaccinations. This has already been proven. You can look on the internet, maybe after I made my video. I mean, those who are on my Facebook page, I've already put many of that stuff. For my YouTube, I will link it down below. A lot of people have very serious adverse effects from the vaccinations. Of course, it's a very small number of people, but they still get it. Okay, so, it's just something that we must not pretend that it's not happening. It does happen. And the other thing is why we don't see a lot of this, which I call vax-sailing, because it's like vaccination failing. We don't see a lot of vax-sailing on social media is because it is being censored. People are not allowed to vax-sail. And even if you do, other people look down on you, like, I don't know what is going on in the world. Like, there's something wrong with you, because why should you get affected and blah, blah, blah. Of course, a lot of people don't. That's why they're vax-plaining. Vax-plaining means like bragging about that they've been vaccinated. Yeah, I know someone who was bragging about being vaccinated, vax-plaining all over, and now they are vax-sailing, like serious vax-sailing. They are in the hospital for the side effects from the vaccination. Okay? But, yeah.
So don't just put your hopes on, or you put your hopes on a cure for COVID. Again, prevention is so much better.
Yes, prevention is so much better. That's why even ivermectin is being used as a prophylaxis. And if you look at the data by the FLCCC, if you look at their data, they have done extensive research, gone around the world, collected research from other people. And extensive meaning within the time frame that we have, because you cannot do extensive research in less than 2 years. We've only in this, like I mentioned before, and we all know, this has only been going on for 2 years. But the data that they have collected has so far proven that ivermectin can be used as a prophylaxis. Okay? And yes, he's also right. The vaccine is actually, when you look at it, since it only reduces disease severity and reduces your chances of getting COVID. Actually, no, let me not even say that, because that is, I don't know, I've never heard of that, but I've heard all the time. It reduces disease severity, but it does not stop you from spreading it, and it does not stop you from contracting it. So it is not a cure. And in a way, it's not even a prophylaxis, because it only reduces disease severity. Whether it reduces infection, I don't know. Sorry, I did not research that part, or maybe I did. It was just probably not that important. Okay. So I don't know how much research this dude did, but it doesn't seem like he did much.
And the cure. All the doctors and nurses in the front lines would rather you get vaccinated, make a trip twice to get your 2 doses, than get COVID and potentially need to go to the hospital.
True, I'm sure the doctors and nurses don't want you to go to the hospital. And I know from all the doctors I spoke to, yes, they don't want you to get COVID. They don't want you to be in the hospital, because, they also don't want to see you suffering and in pain and maybe dying. So what do? They tell you how to take preventative care. Prophylaxis, take care of your health, watch your weight, lessen your stress, your anxiety, go out in the sunlight, get fresh air, keep a positive mindset, mask, social distance, sanitize, if possible, stay home. That's what they do. Okay, that's what they do. They would also say, vaccinate yourself. In many cases, they don't even say that, because they know it's a choice you have to make. When it comes to health, it's always about choice.
It doesn't make sense to gamble in this way, because like I said, you may get long COVID. These long-term consequences, you may or may not get them after you get fully cured by ivermectin. Okay? And fourth,
Wait, I don't even know what that rant was about, but that doesn't make sense.
About your loved ones. Let's assume you don't get vaccinated, you get COVID. And you are confident that ivermectin can cure you. Sure, but won't your loved ones, your family, your friends, won't they be worried when you say, sorry, I am positive for COVID? Even though there's a cure for COVID, ivermectin, as say in this hypothetical scenario.
Again, ivermectin is not a cure for COVID. So you see, when you already know it's not a cure for COVID, you cannot go, your argument cannot go along these lines, because it just then becomes, irrelevant, because it's not a cure. You use it as a prophylaxis or as treatment in early COVID. And if this guy did his homework, he would go and look at the Italy, because these are the two camps that have actually released their protocols. This is the Italy COVID protocol, and then the FLCCC protocols. If he had done his research, he would go and look at their protocols, and then when he sees them, he would see how ivermectin is being used. Okay, and this goes for everybody who is watching this, because it doesn't mean because you can use ivermectin, you just simply swallow it. No, you have to go to a doctor, because it has to be done under doctor supervision, because you need to take it according to your body weight, your age, and whether you're using it as a prophylaxis or as an early COVID treatment. So it's very different. Even like Zainal and I, ours is different because we have different body weights. Okay? So dude here has clearly not done his research.
Your loved ones will be worried. Your loved ones will be stressed. And not to mention, you can pass on COVID to your close family members and friends. But
dude, even with a vaccination, you can still pass COVID on to your friends and family. And this, just my opinion, is what I think is happening in Malaysia. Because when I see, sorry, you're going to get triggered now. When I see the ignorance surrounding COVID-19 in Malaysia, like I said, you're going to be very triggered. You will understand then why the figures are so high. Because vax-plaining does not mean you are safe. There is this false sense of security when people get vaccinated. They become lax in their behavior. They don't social distance, they don't wear masks, they don't do whatever they're supposed to do. They have parties and what have you, and then of course they infect each other. And just the past few days, it has also, the data is out that shows that more vaccinated people are infected. And more, it's the vaccinated people that are spreading COVID. And the worst thing is, the vaccinations are useless against the Delta variant. Useless. So whether you have it or don't have it, have the vaccination, whether you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, when it comes to the Delta variant, you are the same. It's equal. It's an equal level playing field. I don't know if Malaysians have caught up on this, but I think it's high time that you did, because here in Mozambique where I am, everybody knows this, and every single person who I know who is vaccinated is handling themselves as if they are not vaccinated. But then it's because their government said straight to them, this is the fact, blah, 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 blah. You want to die? Do blah, 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 blah. You don't want to die? Do blah, 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 blah. It's your choice.
Besides that, they would be stressed out, worried about you, your selfish ass. On top of this pandemic, on top of this economic uncertainty, why would you add on stress to your family members and your friends? By gambling and maybe getting COVID. It doesn't.
Yeah, that's why if you don't want to gamble and stress your friends out and blah, 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 like he said, you should do whatever it takes to keep yourself safe. So number one is, we know the vaccines only reduce disease severity for the previous variants, and but it does not stop you from spreading even those previous variants or from contracting those variants, right? With the Delta variant, the vaccines, useless. So let's imagine now then we are all at the same level again. Whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, you're at the same level, right? So if you don't want what he's concerned about, for your loved ones, infecting them, blah, 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 then you have to go back to like we did pre-vaccination days. We have to go back to that kind of behavior. Because here he's just talking about problems. I'm not seeing the solutions.
Makes sense. So let me end by saying, just go and get vaccinated while waiting for the research and trial results to come out.
Okay, trial results came out. For Delta variant, the vaccines we have now, they are very good. But when it comes to Delta variant, they are useless. Okay? They do not protect you. They do not.
With regards to Ivermectin. Okay? You're not going to lose out on anything. And by the way, all the vaccine hesitant people will always say, hey, but what about these vaccines, they can cause side effects, right? Wow, blood clot. AstraZeneca will cause blood clot, can cause death. So many side.
Yes, the vaccines can cause side effects, blood clots, blah, 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 blah. He's right. And people are worried about that. And so that's why they don't want to get vaccinated. He's right about that. And of course, I mean, that's their choice.
Effects, I don't want to take vaccine now. But suddenly, when it comes to ivermectin, is this miracle magic drug that doesn't have side effects? Are you out of your mind? Of course, ivermectin has side effects also. Nausea, vomiting, rash, and seizures are part of the side effect profile that I've read on the FDA website.
Yes, true, ivermectin has side effects. How many people died? Well, you can go and look at the data. This drug has been in circulation for 40 years. You think if for 40 years that this was an unsafe drug, they would have still been keeping it on now and make it so easily available. I mean, like here, well, I bought it in Eswatini. In Eswatini, to buy 10, we paid about, I can't even remember, but it wasn't even 50 ringgit for 10. Okay? So you tell me, if this was an unsafe drug that is worse than the vaccines, do you think that they would allow you to just buy it over the counter like that? Do you think they would do that? No. And I don't know. I think he doesn't understand how research works. The vaccines have not even been FDA approved as yet because they've only been approved for emergency use. But they have not been FDA approved as yet because the clinical trials are not done yet. Every day, people who have been vaccinated are being used in this experiment to collect data. This is an ongoing experiment. And because we're in a pandemic, this is what they are doing. But again, if you go and look at what the big scientists like Dr. Robert Malone, Dr. Brett Weinstein, and all these other ones, I can't remember their names, you go look at what they have to say about virus evolution and why you must not use it, a vaccine. You cannot experiment with a vaccine in an ongoing pandemic. You have to do that before a pandemic. That's why they've been studying coronaviruses for decades already, and they still don't know how to effectively develop a vaccine that can prevent infection. Okay, they still don't. Now they are really experimenting because what else can they do? So this dude has not done his research. And then what worries me is that, you know, when you have 40,000 views and you have 102,000 subscribers, why is YouTube not censoring this content? They will censor my content. I have like 17 subscribers. So how many people do, and I look at my views, I have 2-3 views. They will censor people like me. And then they will censor actual experts like Dr. Robert Malone. They will censor his work. And he is the inventor of the mRNA vaccines, the Pfizer, I think you all know what that means. The vaccines. Yeah, the vector vaccines, I don't hear much about scientists talking about that. Okay, but I hear a lot about the mRNA vaccines. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know.
So suddenly, the side effects from ivermectin, it's okay. You can tolerate the side effects, but from vaccines, okay, no. Again, it doesn't make...
No, it says it doesn't make sense. It does make sense because the side effects from what is this thing, from ivermectin are actually quite mild compared to the side effects from the vaccines. Again, the majority of people will not get side effects. But for those people who do, and I know of some, who am I to say that it's not a big deal? Their side effects are not a big deal. Because I'm not the one now, like this one person I know, because of the blood clotting. It caused an aneurysm. They had to put her in an induced coma. She's out of it now. But I don't know. She's like a quadriplegic. I don't know how if that's going to stay like that. I wouldn't. Anyway. And you can see, if you want, you can go look online. There's a lot of people now that's talking about this adverse effects of the vaccines.
So for all those of you who are pro ivermectin, yes, just wait for the results. But please do not equate ivermectin being a cure to no need to take vaccine.
Yeah, he is right. Do not think that ivermectin is a cure. But in the same breath, neither are vaccines. They are not cures. Ivermectin is not a cure. It is a prophylaxis, and it's used in early treatment to reduce this disease severity. Okay? And if you, like I said before, if you want more information, you can go online and type in FLCCC, COVID FLCCC if you want. It's a PDA file. It will come out. Everything is there. I'm lucky I got it quite early because my doctor gave it to me, but it's because of what I was doing at that time, the research I was doing. When it comes to the vaccines, this one, yesterday or day before yesterday, everything came out about how effective they are. Okay? So basically this Mr. Jason Leong, you and I are both not doctors. But the difference between you and I is that when I make my videos, I make sure that I have citations. So that when I talk, I'm not just talking, as in Malaysia they would say, talking cock. I make sure I cite people with good reputation. Okay? So if you want to make this kind of video, but I can already see from some of the comments when I first went on it, it was just all stupid things. But I can see a lot of people have been pushing back. And but like I said, my one, beautiful the way I wrote it out, much better than what I'm doing here now, because I think my writing is better than my speaking. But I want to be a content creator, so this is how you learn, by doing this all the time. And I'm not afraid to make a fool of myself, so that's okay, as long as the facts are correct. So anyway, I don't see my response. It's my comment. So Jason Leong, you removed my comment. I'm letting everybody know that you did that. So if you are a gentleman and you stand by what you said, then you must put my comment back in here so that people can see what I said, because I would like for people to respond to what I've said, because if I am wrong, I will own it. I don't mind, because I'm also learning. We are all learning. This is a learning process. COVID is a new thing. The vaccines are new. Ivermectin is not. It's an old thing. So that's why we don't need to talk much about. There's a lot of research. Okay? So anyway, for this one person who watched, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Cheers, everybody.